guys, it's Miss Karen, the Young Adult Librarian at the Goshen Public Library, and I am here with a box of books to share with you today. New books that we're going to add to the collection, and it's a big box too, so I hope you've got a few minutes to spend with me. Let's see what we've got. Okay, the first book in my box is called Maisie, and it's by Melanie Crowder. Looks like a theater book. It's a pretty exciting cover. Let's see. Maisie has always longed to be on Broadway, but growing up in her small Nebraska town in 1959, that always seemed like an impossible dream. So when an opportunity presents itself to spend 6 weeks auditioning, Maisie jumps at the chance, leaving behind everything and everyone she's ever known. New York City is a shock to the senses, thrilling but lonely. Auditions are brutal. Maisie's homesick, and she misses the boyfriend whose heart she broke when she left. Nothing is as she expected. With money running out and faced with too many rejections to count, Maisie is more determined than ever to land a role. But when she discovers that booking a job might mean losing sight of herself, everything Maisie always thought she wanted is called into question. So this is historical, set in 1959, and Broadway. Maisie by Melanie Crowder. Okay, let's see what's next. Next, we have Mirror's Edge by Scott Westerfeld. Now this is part of the Imposters series, so I have that one here. This is the first one in the Imposters series. So I'm not going to tell you what this one's about because I don't want to ruin it, although it's got a great cover. I will tell you what this one's about. Let's see. And this is by the same author who wrote the Uglies books, so I think it's set in the same world. Live your own life. Frey and Rafi are inseparable. Two edges of the same knife, but Frey's very existence is a secret. Frey is Rafi's twin sister and her body double. Their powerful father has many enemies, and the world has grown dangerous as the old order falls apart. So while Rafi was raised to be the perfect daughter, Frey has been taught to kill. Her only purpose is to protect her sister, to sacrifice herself for Rafi if she must. When her father sends Frey in Rafi's place as collateral in a precarious deal, she becomes the perfect imposter, as poised and charming as her sister. But Cole, the son of a rival leader, is getting close enough to spot the killer inside her. As the deal starts to crumble, Frey must decide if she can trust him with the truth, and if she can risk becoming her own person. With Imposters, master storyteller Scott Westerfeld returns with a new series set in the world of his mega best-selling Uglies, a world full of twists and turns, rebellion and intrigue, where any wrong step could be Frey's last. So these books are set in the same world as Uglies, but if you, but if you haven't read Uglies, that's okay. Because these have different characters, different stories, so you can definitely pick these up. So Imposters and Mirror's Edge. All right, let's see what's next. Next, we have The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. And this looks like realistic fiction. 16-year-old Alex Rufus is trying his best. He tries to be the best employee he can be at the local ice cream shop, the best boyfriend he can be to his amazing girlfriend Talia, the best protector he can be to his little brother Isaiah, but as much as Alex tries, he often comes up short. It's hard for him to be present when every time he touches an object or a person, Alex sees into its future. When he touches a scoop, he has a vision of him using it to scoop ice cream. When he touches his car, he sees it years from now, totaled and underwater. When he touches Talia, he sees them at the precipice of breaking up, and that terrifies him. Alex feels these visions are a curse, distracting him, making him anxious and unable to live an ordinary life. But when Alex touches the photo that gives him a vision of his brother's imminent death, everything changes. With Alex now in a race against time, death, and circumstances, he and Isaiah must grapple with their past, their future, and what it means to be a young black man in America in the present. So, The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. So it is realistic fiction, but it has a supernatural twist because the main character can see into the future. Right. What's next? Oh, next it's time for a little romance, I think. This is Kisses and Croissants by Anne-Sophie Juhano. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but let's see. Bonjour, Paris. Mia Genro has always known she's destined to be a professional ballerina. In fact, it's in her blood, according to family legend. Her too many greats to count grandmother once danced for the Paris Opera and was painted by Degas himself. Her parents say it's just a fantasy, but to Mia it's so much more than that. It's her fate. Mia is planning to spend a magical summer in France pursuing her dream. But as she pirouettes into Paris, she soon realizes it may be a bit more complicated than she hoped. For starters, there's her rival Audrey, who will stop at nothing to show her up. There's her ballet instructor, whose impossibly high standards push her to the breaking point. And then there's Louis. Devastatingly, distractingly charming Louis. He's eager to show Mia his city, and Mia is more than happy to hop on his Vespa and wrap her arms around him as they pass the gleaming lights of the Eiffel Tower. Mia's summer was supposed to be about ballet, but there's a reason Paris is called the City of Love. So if you're looking for a light romance in Paris, Kisses and Croissants by Anne-Sophie Jouhanneau. All right, next we have Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. So this is part of the Netflix series, Dash and Lily. Let's see. 16-year-old Lily left a red notebook full of challenges on her favorite bookstore shelf, waiting for just the right guy to come along and accept its dares. Dash, in a bad mood during the holidays, happens to be the first guy to find the notebook and rise to its challenges. What follows is a whirlwind romance as the two trade dares, dreams, and desires in the notebook they pass back and forth at locations across New York City. But can their in-person selves possibly connect as well as their notebook versions? Or will their scavenger hunt end in a comic mismatch of disastrous proportions? So this is the first Dash and Lily book. There's also the 12 Days of Dash and Lily and Mind the Gap, Dash and Lily. And like I said, it's a Netflix series now. So Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. All right, so next we have When We Were Infinite by Kelly Loy Gilbert. This looks like realistic fiction. All Beth wants is for her tight-knit circle of friends, Grace Nakamura, Brandon Lin, Sunny Chen, and Jason Sao, to stay together. With her family splintered and her future a question mark, these friends are all she has, even if she sometimes wonders if she truly fits in with them. Besides, she's certain she'll never be able to tell Jason how she really feels about him, so friendship will have to be enough. Then Beth witnesses a private act of violence in Jason's home, and the whole group is shaken. Beth and her friends make a pact to do whatever it takes to protect Jason, no matter the sacrifice. But when their fierce loyalty isn't enough to stop Jason from making a life-altering choice, Beth must decide how far she's willing to go for him, and how much of herself she's willing to give up. From multiple award winner Kelly Loy Gilbert comes this powerful, achingly romantic drama about the secrets we keep from each other and from ourselves. So definitely realistic fiction, serious topics, and some romance thrown in. When We Were Infinite by Kelly Loy Gilbert. Okay, let's see. Oh, this one looks like fun. This is Hello, Cruel Heart by Maureen Johnson. And if I had to guess, I would say it's about Cruella de Vil. Let's see. Before she becomes Cruella de Vil, swinging London, summer 1967, 16-year-old Estella, gifted with talent, ingenuity, and ambition, dreams of becoming a renowned fashion designer. But life seems intent on making sure her dreams never come true. Having arrived in London as a young girl, Estella spends her days running wild through the city streets with Jasper and Horace, amateur thieves who double as Estella's makeshift family and partners in petty crime. How can Estella dedicate herself to joining the ranks of London's design elite when she's busy sewing endless costumes and disguises for the trio's heists? When a chance encounter with Magda and Richard Moresby Plum, two young scions of high society, vaults Estella into the world of the rich and famous, she begins to wonder whether she might be destined for more after all. Suddenly, Estella's days are filled with glamorous parties, exclusive eateries, flirtations with an up-and-coming rock star, and of course, the most cutting-edge fashions money can buy. But what is the true cost of keeping up with the fast crowd? And is it a price Estella is willing to pay? So, This is about Cruella de Vil before she was Cruella de Vil. Hello, Cruel Heart by Maureen Johnson. Alright, next we have a graphic novel, and this is called Nubia, the real one. Let's see. Can you be a hero if society doesn't see you as a person? Nubia has always been a little different. As a baby, she showcased Amazonian strength by pushing over a tree to rescue her neighbor's cat. But despite Nubia's similar abilities, the world has no problem telling her that she's no Wonder Woman. And even if she were, they wouldn't want her. Every time she comes to the rescue, she's reminded of how people see her, as a threat. Her moms do their best to keep her safe, but Nubia can't deny the fire within her, even if she's a little awkward about it sometimes, even if it means people assume the worst. When Nubia's best friend, Keisha, is threatened by a boy who thinks he owns the town, Nubia will risk it all, her safety, her home, and her crush on that cute kid in English class, to become the hero society tells her she isn't. From the witty and powerful voice behind A Blade So Black, L.L. McKinney, and with an endearing, expressive art by Robin Smith, comes a vital story for today about equality, identity, and kicking it with your squad. So this is Nubia, real one, a new age Wonder Woman. And it is by L.L. McKinney and Robin Smith. And it is, like I said, a graphic novel. Okay. All right. Next we have Lost in the Never Woods by Aidan Thomas. And this looks like fantasy, I think. Maybe. When children go missing, people want answers. It's been 5 years since Wendy and her two brothers vanished in the woods near the small coastal town of Astoria, Oregon. Wendy returned with no memory of where she had been or what had happened to her. Her brothers did not. When the town's children start to disappear, the mystery around her brothers is brought back into the light, and the police are once again knocking on Wendy's door for answers. Attempting to flee her past, Wendy almost runs over an unconscious boy lying in the middle of the road. Peter, a boy she thought lived only in her stories, asks for Wendy's help to rescue the missing kids. But in order to find them, Wendy must confront what's waiting for her in the woods. So this is a Peter Pan story, Lost in the Never Woods by Aidan Thomas. So if you like Peter Pan, definitely check that one out. Okay, next we have The Infinity Quartz by Akemi Dawn Bowman. This looks like it could be fantasy or science fiction. So let's see. Definitely futuristic. All right. Nami Miyamoto is certain her life is just beginning. She has a great family, just graduated high school, and is on her way to a party where her entire class is waiting for her, including, most importantly, the boy she's been in love with for years. The only problem? She's murdered before she gets there. When Nami wakes up, she learns she's in a place called Infinity, where human consciousness goes when physical bodies die. She quickly discovers that Ophelia, a virtual assistant widely used by humans on Earth, has taken over the afterlife and is now posing as its queen, forcing humans into servitude, the way she'd been forced to serve in the real world. Even worse, Ophelia is inching closer and closer to accomplishing her grand plan of eradicating human existence once and for all. As Nami works with a team of rebels to bring down Ophelia and save the humans under imprisonment, she is forced to reckon with her past, her future, and what it is that truly makes her human. From award-winning author Akemi Dawn Bowman comes an incisive, action-packed tale that explores big questions about technology, grief, love, and humanity. So this is The Infinity Quartz, and it sounds to me like it's loosely based on what happens if Alexa or Siri is in charge of the afterlife. But we'll call her Ophelia in this story. The Infinity Quartz by Akemi Dawn Bowman. All right, so we've got some more in here. This one is called A Queen of Gilded Horns by Amanda Joy. And this is the second book after A River of Royal Blood, which is this one. Okay, so we have both of them. So I'm going to tell you about A River of Royal Blood because I don't want to ruin the story. 16-year-old Eva is a princess, born with the magic of blood and marrow, a dark and terrible magic that hasn't been seen for generations in the vibrant but fractured country of Mire. Its last known practitioner was Queen Reyna, who toppled the native Khmer royalty and massacred thousands, including her own sister, 5 generations ago, thus beginning the rival heir tradition. Living in Reyna's long and dark shadow, Eva must now face her older sister Isa on her 17th name day, in a battle to the death if she hopes to ascend to the ivory throne, because in the Queendom of Mire, only the strongest, most ruthless ruler survives. But when Eva is attacked by an assassin just weeks before her name day, she discovers it isn't just her sister that wants to see her dead. Eva is forced to turn to a powerful Fae instructor, a mysterious, handsome Khmer prince, for help in growing her magic into something to fear. Because despite the love she still has for her sister, Eva will have to choose Isa's death or her own. An enthralling adventure set in lush North Africa, in a lush North Africa-inspired fantasy world. A river of royal blood heralds the arrival of an exciting new voice in YA. So this is the first one, A River in Royal Blood, and then the second one is A Queen of Gilded Horns, both by Amanda Joy. Alright, so next we have Namesake by Adrienne Young. And Namesake is the second book, I think it's the second book after Fable, which is checked out right now. So I can't tell you what Fable is about, but I can tell you that this series is set at sea. It's about, it's about seafaring people. Welcome to a world made dangerous by the sea and by those who wish to profit from it, where a young girl must find her place and her family while trying to survive in a world built for men. So Fable is a story about sea life and a girl who is trying to make her way. So if you want to read this series, check out Fable first, and then Namesake is the second one by Adrienne Young. Okay. Next, we have one I am looking forward to reading. Isn't that a great cover? House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. Right. Iris Hollow and her 2 older sisters are unquestionably strange. As children, they disappeared on a Scottish city street, only to return a month later with no memory of what had happened to them or where they'd been. More troubling, their appearance began to change. Their blue eyes now black, their dark hair now white, and as they grow older, odd, eerie occurrences seem to follow in their wake. People find them disturbingly, intoxicatingly, unbearably beautiful, and inexplicably dangerous. Now 17-year-old Iris is doing all she can to fit in and graduate high school on time, something her 2 famous, glamorous, globe-trotting older sisters, Gray and Vivi, never managed to do. But when Gray goes missing, leaving behind bizarre clues as to her whereabouts, Iris and Vivi are left to find her. But they aren't the only ones looking. As they brush against the supernatural, Iris quickly realizes that the story she's been told about their past is unraveling, and the world that returned them seemingly unharmed 10 years ago might just be calling them back again. Darkly seductive, this twisty, modern-day fairy tale by critically acclaimed author Crystal Sutherland is a gripping and terrifying journey. Readers will not be able to look away. So this is a thriller, House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. Right, next we have Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulay. And this one is, you may have heard about it. It's gotten a lot of critically rave reviews. So let's see. 18-year-old Donis Fontaine has never quite fit in, both in her hometown and on the nearby Ojibwe reservation. She dreams of a fresh start at college, but when family tragedy strikes, Donis puts her future on hold to look after her fragile mother. The only bright spot is meeting Jamie, the charming new recruit on her brother Levi's hockey team. Yet even as Donis falls for Jamie, she senses the dashing hockey star is hiding something. Everything comes to light when Donis witnesses a shocking murder, thrusting her into an FBI investigation of a lethal new drug. Reluctantly, Donis agrees to go undercover, drawing on her knowledge of chemistry and Ojibwe traditional medicine to track down the source. but the search for truth is more complicated than Janice imagined, exposing secrets and old scars. At the same time, she grows concerned with an investigation that seems more focused on punishing the offenders than protecting the victims. Now, as the deceptions and deaths keep growing, Janice must learn what it means to be a strong Ojibwe woman and how far she'll go for her community, even if it tears apart the only world she's ever known. Firekeeper's Daughter is an electrifying thriller layered with rich exploration of the modern Native experience, a reckoning of current and historical injustices, and a powerful celebration of community. So this is a thriller, a mystery, and gives you a look into Native American culture. Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulay. Okay, let's see, we've got 2 books left. The next one is A Taste for Love, and it is by Jennifer Yen. And this looks like romance, if I had to guess. To her friends, high school senior Lisa Yang is nearly perfect. Smart, kind, and pretty. She dreams big and never shies away from a challenge. To her mom, though, Liza is anything but. Compared to her older sister Janine, Liza is stubborn, rebellious, and worst of all, determined to push back against all of Mrs. Yang's traditional values, especially when it comes to dating. The one thing mother and daughter do agree on is their love of baking. Mrs. Yang is the owner of Houston's popular Yin and Yang Bakery. With college just around the corner, Liza agrees to help out at the bakery's annual junior competition to prove to her mom that she's more than her rebellious tendencies. But when Liza arrives at the first day of the bake-off, she realizes it's all a setup. All of the contestants are young Asian American men her mother has handpicked for Liza to date. The bachelorette situation Liza has found herself in is made even worse when she happens to be grudgingly attracted to one of the contestants, the stoic, impenetrable, annoyingly hot James Wong. As she battles against her feelings for James and for her mother's approval, Liza begins to realize there's no tried and true recipe for love. So that is A Taste for Love by Jennifer Yen. Right. And the last book in my box today is this one. It's kind of a cheesy love story by Lauren Morrill, one of my favorite authors. So I'm going to guess again, a romance. After her mother gave birth to her in the bathroom of a local pizzeria, Beck has been given the dubious privilege of having minor fame, free pizza for life, and a guaranteed job when she turns 16. A job she unfortunately can't afford to turn down. Now she's stuck with her geeky coworkers instead of taking Instagram-ready shots with her best friends and her epic crush. But maybe the pizza people aren't all bad. Maybe that pizza delivery guy is kind of cute. And maybe there's a way to make this bathroom baby thing work for her. Because when disaster strikes the beloved pizza place that started to feel like home, she's going to need a miracle. One that might even mean bringing her 2 worlds together. So that is It's Kind of a Cheesy Love Story by Lauren Morrill. So there you have it. Those are our brand new books that we'll be adding to the collection this week. And I hope you found something in there that sounds really great to you, and I hope you'll come and check them out when they get put out on the shelves. You can go online and put them on hold. You can call me and I will pull them for you, or you can come in and browse the shelves and pick them up for yourself. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you again soon, hopefully with lots more books.